good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to MatchFit Entertainment's official coverage of Rainlight Racing's 2025 GT4 Series 8. It is round 5, the final round of the series, and we are here at the Nurburgring Green Hell here tonight for the final round. We must thank, obviously, Crossy 43, True to Life Racing Designs, and the good people at SIMBLACKS for coming on board once again at Rainlight Racing, giving away some awesome prizes. I'm Davo, and right by my side, as always, J-Man in the commentary booth. How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, good evening, Davo. Evening, viewers. Great to be back once again on a Monday night here. And the last one for a little bit from these boys until we see what's going on. But as you mentioned, round 5, season 8, GT4 at the Nordschleife. So this one will be big. A bit of weather on the horizon tonight too. So and a little bit of a different format to what we've become used to during the season. So this one is a single 60-minute race, and it does have a 20-minute qualifying. We were just crunching the numbers, and it very much looks like the potential for 2 flying laps here, given that we saw some sort of around the mid-9s in those current weather conditions we just saw, which was quite a lot wetter than what we're looking at now. We saw around 9:22, 9:23 as we just pick up. I'm just picking up on, I think it is the Macrolos car that's actually just come out of what is that very unique start lap where they come off of the old circuit and then they commence their lap. So coming through the traditional Nurburgring GP circuit down into turn 1 and then get that side of it done and then rip into a lap of what is Green Hell Nordschleife. And conditions, like I said, a little bit more favourable than what we just saw. So
well, in pre-race practice, yes, it was a little bit of precipitation, a little bit of a wet, dampish track. What have we got? It's showing fast at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, showing fast, 19 ambient, 23 degrees track, so not bad. The track conditions should be quite conducive to a good lap time. So what that means in a GT4, I'm not real sure. I don't know that we'll drop into the 8s, but certainly low 9s could be well on the cards. And you and I were just having a little bit of a comment about how good a couple of these cars look, specifically in those wet conditions. Crossland had a real handle on his Camaro, really sliding the car around beautifully. Looked like it was all premeditated and well in control, and didn't generate a bad lap time either. So currently we do have, by the looks of it, the 222 car of Costas Macrolos out there as, I think, potentially maybe he'd be the leading car, or is it actually the 27 car? I'm just trying to get a pick up on my graphics here.
Did not see who went out first there, but like you're mentioning, the first couple of names you mentioned, J-Man, were both Camaro drivers. So the Camaro is quite possibly the ones to watch here tonight at Nords. Always a tricky place, and if the weather rolls in, or the bad weather rolls in, I should say, look, it's going to be tricky for everyone, really. It's a tricky circuit at the best of times. But add a little bit of water and just stir. There's going to be plenty going on, which will make for great entertainment for our viewers here again tonight. And obviously us, J-Man, we love it when it, they throw a bit of a spanner in the works and give us some rain. So, one worth watching here. 1 hour race, like you mentioned earlier, 20 minutes qualifying. We have had the MatchFit abacus out and crunched the numbers. The beads have been a-flicking, and we are looking like these guys are going to get a lap out and one flyer at least. Oh, they're timed right off the get-go, I think, here, because of the way that the track's set up. So that's awesome. So they will get 2 flying laps in. Awesome stuff. Lily Glass, actually. We just mentioned her name quickly, J-Man. Quick and pre-race practice.
Yeah, look, she was, and I just wondered whether I mean, obviously the track was favourable at the back end. We did see Costas Makrolos actually firing a lap in at the back end, and he was some 8 seconds up on, I think, the 9:22 that 23 that he had posted earlier. So obviously that track was drying, and you actually mentioned at the time when we were watching, Davo, that such a big lap, and you know, if depending on how aggressive the weather variations are here, you know, they could effectively start a lap on a wet tyre, get caught away through the lap and see that track drying immensely, or it could be wet down one end and dry at the other. And that
definitely
could have big implications to what the race run looks like. And
yes, definitely.
you know, I think in something like a 9 to 10 minute lap, I think an unscheduled stop may not hurt you as bad as it would on a conventional sprint round.
But definitely one to watch. A little bit reminiscent of the Formula One Melbourne yesterday.
Yeah.
With rain just at one end of the circuit, and that ain't as long as Nords. But yeah, a long way to go. Look, if it does rain, or you know, it rains and it stops raining, and then they've got to run a whole lap, by the end of the lap, quite possibly change of track conditions could definitely come into place. So interesting stuff, and we will be keeping an eye on the weather, that's for sure. Track temps are pretty reasonable. J-Man, what have we got? Track at 23, ambient at 19, and it is a fast set as a fast track at the moment. So not too bad. Just, I think Wozniak, the young Sam Wozniak, up on the cameras at the moment there. Had a tough one last week after just blowing him away the week before. So it'd be interesting. Now, after 2 weeks of watching him, J-Man, it's sort of, okay, how's he going to go here at Nords? Look, not a lot of people are familiar with this place. It's got a lot of corners, a long track. It is something special, and not everyone's favourite track. But look, not a lot of people familiar with this place, and that will hurt you if you're racing against someone that is familiar. You and I know that. As we are big fans, we love it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we'll try and keep up the best we can with this qualifying session. It's going to be quite tricky because I did just see Sykes and Foster back in the pit lane. I'm pretty sure I saw Crossan back into the pit lane. So that will be potentially a byproduct, I would think, specifically around a track cut, or maybe damage to the car or something like that.
Quite possibly, yep.
Scoot back and have another crack and then get out, because obviously that tricky little infield section that they do to enable them to not have to run a full lap before they commence a quali lap just allows them to do that. However, it will limit you then to being very disciplined and only getting one lap out of this thing. And I think Crossan's in that category now. And as we watch Makrolos,
and possibly Sykes and Foster as well. So
yeah, well, they're still in the pit lane, so maybe opting for just to sit this one out and maybe and just start from the back. And look, it's going to be a track. It's, you know, it's the European version of Bathurst. It's a car eater.
Yeah, it's just that it's 4 or 5 times longer than Bathurst.
Well, 45 times longer.
Yeah. So yeah, look, it is a huge lap here at Nords, and look, if you're not familiar with it, it is pretty tricky. It is just like a massive big country road at high speed, as the cameras pick up on Mr. Tracy in that beautifully painted Mercedes-Benz. The Mercs have looked pretty solid throughout the series, but nothing like what the Chevys are doing at the moment.
Yeah, as we wait for these first times to come in, can we actually just bring up a little bit of a graphic on that and have a little bit of a chat about
definitely.
That looks like? Because swings in this championship this season, with obviously the golf score mode enabled and lower,
definitely,
you know, effectively lower scores going to take this title. So that when we look at it, and we see that Mr. Brandon Webley up there on 8 points, done an absolute stellar job. 2, 2, 2, and 2 is the tally. So he leads this thing with 8 points outright over Nick Firth. So Nick Firth having an incredible round 4 last time out, only scoring 5 points. So he had a top-notch finish. And then Macrolos having a great result as well. I saw him jump up the table because I think the week before we were talking about Macrolos was sitting at around about 10th outright, and he's moved all the way up to P3. And look, everything at this point speculation because Webley sitting there on 8 points. Let's call it 8 points, 21 back to Nick Firth. He goes back to 16th, has a DNF. And the unlikely thing, I think mathematically, that puts Nick Firth in the box seat. So it's not done. It's just not done.
No, it's
by
not.
Any stretch.
It's not done. And being Nords too. This is a car breaker. Look, this could mix up considerably in the last round here.
Sorry to interrupt you there. The first times are in Macrolos, so I question how low we'd go into the 9s, and we've actually gone 8.55 for Costas Macrolos, so that's a very,
nice.
very good time. So just trying to get a pick up now. We should see something.
So Webley just
from Webley.
Running under the bridge on the main straight there, heading down the hill now.
So there you go, Goddard, 907, 909. We're getting some times coming through, Davo. $8.59 for Pete Dawson. So PD doing a good job there to drop into the 8s.
Nice work for Pete.
Good numbers for a GT4.
Definitely. Firth also, like you mentioned, completing a lap, putting himself in provisional 4th. Here we go. So where did Webley end up?
Unclassified.
Unclassified. Ouch. So continues
on.
Oh,
hang on. Has he?
No, it's not.
Is he just actually coming up to the finish line? Where is he? I'm just
No, it's not classified on mine either. So, I think we have a slight delay in our data tonight for some reason, but Webley's definitely unclassified there, J-Man. So
only 4 classified laps up to this time step.
That's it. That is it. So that is Macrolos, Dawson, Firth, Goddard, should I say, and Firth. And Goddard already in the pits. He's had enough. He thinks the 907.830 is enough. And I probably tend to agree with me. Another one of the Chevy drivers as well, just to be noted, J-Man. So Webley continues on. Where are we on these lap times?
Yeah, hey, look, we have got some. I'm just going through at the moment, mate. Just trying to get a read on some of these drivers. We've got Nick Firth, obviously cracked on for another one. He's on a green lap.
Yes.
Dawson's up around about a second. He needs around about 4 or 5 to do anything to Macrolos's pole lap. But however, he's pressing on. He's pretty early in the lap. Goddard's given it away, as you mentioned, on a 907. Firth is green. He's up 2.5 seconds. He will threaten Goddard's lap should he carry on like that. Crossland, I think the red indication on his bar is the fact that he's
gone out again.
He's gone out again. We saw that. So he's well into his lap as well. So look to see that Crossland maybe make an improvement and bank a lap. Ken Worcester, he just goes in there on a 910. So good job. You've got to commend anybody that actually completes a lap out here without dropping a wheel outside the confines of what's deemed as a racetrack with track limits. So he does a good job there on the 910. So
definitely.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah, and for anybody that was actually just watching the footage there of Worcester, I'll see if we can pick that up again. One of the bollards looked like
stuck on the back.
It was stuck on the back there, but it's flicked it off to the side there now. So awesome stuff. Some funny images there as we get back to Pete Dawson, who is just taking it down the wall there.
So I think for the next lap that we're going to see actually classified, I think that is actually going to be, by my calculations, Crossy's in the carousel at the moment, and he's in carousel 1.
Webley's heading down the foxhole, I think it is. So
Yeah, it is. Yep.
yeah, so he's still fairly early in the lap.
So where was that 33 car, Mr. Perkins? Okay, so he's on the GP circuit,
And,
so he's
and where's Tracy? Hang on, we'll just pick up on Tracy here as well. He is actually just gone through sector 1 or 2. What, I'm not sure that timing mark that but it is heading down the foxhole as well. So he not too far behind.
Likely going to run out of time. If I'm looking at the time overrun, we've just got shy of 4 minutes.
Yep.
And they're well early in their lap. So I think you're going to see the 43, the 27 car have potential to make their lap. There'll be questions over Danny Kim's lap, whether he'll actually make it before we go time certain. However, I think definitely the 43 car may have just timed this to perfection. And by my calculation too, Steve Crossland is certainly looks good.
Yeah, he's getting down towards that end of the circuit, but still, what, under just a little smidge over 3 minutes there. I think he's going to be pushing. Look at the body language on that Camaro, J-Man. He is working hard for that.
Yeah, and look, this round may be certainly impact when you came in tonight into the server, because, you know, if we look at how many unclassified laps there were, somebody like Sykes there, yeah, James Sykes could come out of this with a 7th starting position and not even have started a lap.
And look, and Foster as well. I think Foster was one of the early ones, one of the ones that either didn't come out or went back in early in the Maserati. So
I reckon Crossy's going to bank the lap here, mate.
Yeah, I think he is too.
The other car was the 27 car, whether Lily Glass actually makes it across as well. Have a look there.
Oh, she's just hit the end of the street. I think she'll hit too as well.
Next car would be the 11 car of Danny Kim, and I'm not sure that Danny Kim's maybe going to run out of time. Might be tight.
Yeah, he's looking too far back in the lap. Get back up on the cross as he runs down the hill here. Final series of corners here. It's a very awkward little braking area here, and you're carrying so much speed. You so want to just dive it in there and get that last few tenths out of the lap, but it's so easy to put it in the wall there, J-Man. As Crossland
comes across, what can he do? A 9:02.9.
puts himself.
So that puts him on the front, on the second row. Sorry, knocks Nick Firth off the second row to the third. And then we will look towards Lily Glass.
So Webley in the pit.
Comes through unclassified. And the only other car...
What's the other one?
Was Danny Kim. Now, where is Danny Kim? Coming down the straight, minute 18. Danny Kim.
Off the end there again. Really working the brakes on the Mercedes here. He's got a minute up his sleeve.
Yeah, Danny will be the last one across, effectively. I think the 222 car... Of course, it's going to be a day late and $1 short.
So Kim to fourth.
Danny Kim up to 4th.
Nice.
So that puts Firth down another spot. Now, if it was time certain, the 222 car, maybe he did get across the line. But will he actually get?
Macrolos on the main straight with 35 seconds to go, J-Man.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because he's already up there on an 855. So just looking to improve the lap.
Yeah. He looks like he's going to get this too. And
I think he'll get there. I think he knows.
Car looking good, looking solid, but look very bumpy here at North and the Camaro.
He's close to a second. It's close to a second up. 18th, 19th.
Yeah, watch this. Watch this time.
55, 854.6.
That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen, in a Chevy Camaro. Nice work from Kostas Makrolos. as the timer runs down here on the boys and girls for round 5 in the Rainlight Racing 2025 GT4 Series, sponsored to you, for you, by SIMBLACKS, True to Life Racing Designs, and Crossy 43. Couple of cars still out on track. McConnell, Tracy, Perkins still circulate. It's all done and dusted. Timer is zeroed. And it'll only be a matter of time, J-Man.
Yeah, no, well, obviously they'll lock and load the race setups effectively from this point out. And look, they won't be tyre sensitive or fuel sensitive to the 60-minute around here. So that'll be a formality.
No. Yeah, so this is a long race. Like, I say it's a long race. It's only a 60-minute race, but...
So it's around 7 laps.
But it's a 60-minute at Nords. So to start a little bit down from the top isn't such a big drama here, I personally think, because so much can happen in one lap, and positions will I can guarantee you change over the course of that first lap.
Yeah, you and I both know. You know, we completed a 90-minute here recently this year, 2025. I believe
Yes.
I believe it was this year. And look, it was one of those things where, yeah, it probably doesn't, because it's a battle of attrition. However, I had the luxury that night of having fresh air in front of me, and I think you behind me, and just played it really safe from that point. So
that's right.
You know, if you can get out there in front, the likes of MATCHFIT, and go and maybe push a little hard at the start and create a little bit of margin, even if you just get the car out of the mirror. You know, I'm talking about something like anywhere from 4 to 6 second margin, which isn't, you know, sounds like a lot, but on an 8.5, an 8 3/4 to 9 1/4 minute lap, it's not hard to make margin if you've got that advantage with car speed and stuff. So if he can do that, and then, you know, come lap 2, roll out of it, look after the car, and then just maintain the gap, not overdrive the car, he could be in a good position. So the guy that has to push at this point of time will be Webley. You know, like, I'm not sure how this thing's going to shake out.
You really just need to get in that rhythm, though, isn't it? You don't want to be battling with someone too hard, do you?
Yeah, well, look, Webley's, he's out there, and he's got to start from P9. He's his current series leader. Wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
Webley.
Pretty sure. Yeah. So Webley out there, starting from P9. Now he's got Sykes beside him now, also not completing a quality lap. So a little bit of contention. Ken Worcester, he did lay down a good lap. Nick Firth, P6. He's second in the championship. Not a bad position to be. He can see the leaders in front of him. Good time to score. But MATCHFIT, he can't do any better than that to try and put his best foot forward. He's, you know, got a long way to go in respect of, 23 points versus 8 points. He's in the box seat to try and put the pressure on. And it'll be interesting to see if the number crunchers at Rainlight can get us some details relatively quickly, or whether we can crunch the numbers at the back end to see who does the business here. But it'll be still tight. Look, it's a 16-car field. And mathematically, there's still a lot of guys in contention for this.
Yeah, look, it's going to be tight at the top. And again, I'll just reiterate how long a race this 60 minutes will be for some of the boys here as they roll away from the line here. Who's that in the background? I think that's Lee Perkins, just getting away slowly there. Yeah, plenty to play for still, J-Man. That's for sure. And plenty to play for means that plenty to play for. If you come and play at Rainlight Racing in 2025, like we mentioned, SIMBLACKS back on board again with Rainlight Racing, always giving away some awesome prizes above and beyond the $50 giveaways every night that you race here, like random draw stuff. But yes, SIMBLACKS back on board again with Rainlight Racing here for the GT4 series, giving away a Neo X hub, and this is some pretty handy tech, mate. It's all just this new whiz-bang connection technology, should I say, just to be able to party wheelbases and wheels together. It's all quick connect stuff, you know, like, so Google it, guys.
Fantastic
check it out
stuff.
It is top bit of kit. This is some serious stuff. I wish I had one. I wish I was a part of the series. But I'm up here chatting with you guys and Davo. But yeah, get involved with Rainlight Racing over 2025. SIMBLACKS always on board. And yeah, always giving away some very cool stuff, J-Man. So definitely get involved. Talking about SIMBLACKS, Steve Crossland running the number 43 Chevy Camaro, the SIMBLACKS Camaro there. Third position.
Yeah, no, he looks good.
And he looks handy.
He looks comfortable as well. And Crossy's, he's one of the guys that, you know, he knows his way around.
Just about everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But he certainly knows his way around here. So
yeah,
it's really, really cool.
Yep. So a little bit of a formation lap mishap there. Again, it reminds me of yesterday in the Melbourne Formula One. But the boys doing a bit of tyre warming as we prepare for this 60-minute race here, J-Man. A little bit of a short version of the Nurburgring here to bring him back around.
Yeah, not
across the line, but geez,
not a massive formation, so it's good for us.
Yep. And they are about to roll across the line. I think, where are they on track? Hang on.
Yeah, not far away, I think, mate, by the look of it. It's holding them in formation.
Just trying to get my bearings here. Like I said, they do a very strange version of the Nurburgring. It's not the long version or the actual just sprint version. It's something else for the 24-hour here, for the long track when they get out on the main track. So they don't spend a lot of time actually on the GP circuit. So as they roll through, that is what is the final chicane.
Oh, no. Okay.
Oh, no, someone just taken the wrong direction there. Here we go.
Yeah.
They roll around here, going through the barriers. They've broken the seal,
J-Man. Someone's hit the barrier.
So that's Macrolos there.
That was Macrolos, hit the barrier.
So not sure what's going on there. There could have been a little bit of a mix-up there server-wise. That just didn't look right there, J-Man. So we just might let these boys sort out what is going on there. Yeah, I don't think something's not right there. Or are they gonna?
The timer effectively hasn't clicked down, but the boys are racing. They're into it, but I'm not sure.
I'm not sure how official going to be able to be
like this.
Yeah, no, the timer's not ticking over, J-Man. So we are definitely not in race, ladies and gentlemen.
We might just go to a techie break and let these boys sort it out.
We will take a short intermission and we'll let these boys sort it out. Don't go anywhere. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, grab another beer, and we'll be back in a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to MATCHFIT Entertainment's official coverage of Rain Light Racing's 2025 GT4 Series 8. It is round 5. We're at Nords. Just finished qualifying. A little bit of a mix-up, I think, with track choice there as the boys rolled around in the formation lap. There's a little bit of confusion there, so they have reset the grid and reset us. And I think the boys are nearly ready to go. I'm Davo, J-Man, as always, right by my side. How you doing, my friend?
Yep, no, I'm good. I'm just crunching the numbers, just going through some of the stuff I had written down earlier. And we got Webley back to pit lane off the grid already. Now, he was due to start out of P9.
Okay.
Now, so I'm not sure what's happened there. However, Macrolos was at the front. He's still at the front.
It's still at the front.
I think Nick Firth, he's lost a couple of spots on what was official qualifying. He was up in around 5th or 6th, I believe, maybe 6th. So it's not too bad.
And Dawson and Crossland have dropped down behind Webley, but now, like you mentioned, Webley starting from the pit lane, so they've sort of gone back up to, I think, where they were. I think Dawson, who was in 3rd? It was actually Goebel, was it? Anyway.
Yeah, just going and looking at my notes now.
We'll have to have a flick back at that one on the stream there. But yeah, a little bit of a mix-up. We're a little bit mixed up. The server's a little bit mixed up. That's going to mix the drivers up. If they weren't nervous already, J-Man, for this 1 hour race here at Nordscliffe, the conditions look very nice. It was a little bit overcast there in qualifying, but nice and sunny. We've got an optimum track. The weather looks like on the long forecast like it's going to be beautiful. We've got a 28-degree track temperature, and what have we got? 21 Celsius on the ambient as well. So beautiful day.
Yeah, so it looks a little bit something like Macrolos over Dawson, Crossland, Danny Kim, Goddard, Firth, Worcester, Sykes, Webley, Foster to round out the 10, then followed by McConnell, Glass, Goebel, Tracy, Perkins, Wozniak. So be interesting to see what they do here as far as the formation, whether maybe they address some stuff in the first lap or whether they just play on. It is a big lap. It is 60 minutes. Webley starting from the pit lane. They have a lot of work to do. This is our series leader, so
he will, J-Man, and it is a big lap. What did we do? We sort of crunched the numbers. We're thinking about maybe sneaking 7 in over the 60 minutes. Yep.
Yeah, in the high 8s for sure. Yeah, in the high 8s, I think we'd be looking to run the 7th lap. If the track was slower, I was looking at, it was potential for around about 6.8, 6.9, so it was questionable with the weather. However, I think we're well and truly going to see 7 laps run out of here. Now, big gap on this opening formation, so expect to see them really box up here shortly.
Yeah, so they're actually out on the main track now. I'm not sure, the timer hasn't clicked over here, so we are on the big circuit at speed, mind you, with Macrolos, but the timer not functioning here at the moment, so not sure what's going on there, but we will continue to watch Macrolos. Like we
Webley's
mentioned,
still in the lane.
Still in the lane. Dawson currently sitting in 3rd, but again, without the timer running, that still leaves Webley in 2nd. So, interesting situation. Trying to make sense of it. Crossland sitting in 4th, but these guys are at speed. Not sure whether they're actually racing or not, but we will follow the action all the same, J-Man. So good vision coming from North.
Yeah, I'm just watching the battle with Goddard and Danny Kim just to try and get a read on the attitude here, whether the guys are just going to stay in formation for this lap. No, we do have... Oh, hang on. Okay, so that's Webley dropping down.
Starting to drop down,
He's in the lane.
Okay, so it took a while to pick up that. The Nord's timing is particularly dicky, isn't it, J-Man? We have broadcast Nords quite a few times since its release, and yeah, look, there's a couple of things that are missing, and the timing can be a little bit dicky, so just bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. We don't get the top speeds here, do we, either?
No speed trap.
No speed trap. What the hell? Is a track this long and a huge straight, you'd think they'd have several speed traps around the circuit, but nonetheless, we'll work with what we've got. As these boys are, they do look like they are circulating at speed in position, don't they, J-Man? With no positional changes, obviously, and possibly just coming around and using this lap basically as a formation lap. It'll get some temp into the tyres, if nothing less. But it'll be interesting to see how they go with their, obviously, their fuel loads and the like, with one full formation lap and a sizable formation lap at that. But like we mentioned earlier, beautiful looking weather out there. Here, nice and sunny, optimum track and ambient temperatures are very nice. It's a little past 2 p.m. A few shadows around. And that can always come into play towards the end of a race, depending on the multiplier. We sometimes quite often see those shadows get long.
Wozniak with a big look on McConnell. Is he going to get it? He's up the inside. Oh, he rolls out of it. So maybe they're just holding formation.
They're holding formation, bro.
Doing it with a lot of pace.
They are. Looks like Crossland actually just pulled the field up a little bit there. Yep. Although McCullough and Dawson's still out in front, but Crossland did slow down somewhat.
Bit of a strategy play there, maybe slow them down enough to cool their tyres, make those boys cool their tyres off at the end.
Yeah, and I think they just got to chill out here. Look, I just wonder whether it's a non-contact because it's still in a formation lap. I'm not sure what the deal is. You can see Dawson's car and Macalos's is just in the distance there. And I think these guys, as they start to get towards the back of the lap, will start to pull that field back together somewhat. But again, if nothing less, it'll warm the tyres up a little bit, and it's a good sighting lap for them, just to get up in the rhythm and get the eyes on, so to speak, and they'll be ready for that rolling start. So cameras on the obviously the number 43 SIMBLACKS entry of Steve Crossland, the Chevy, and pedaling it pretty solidly. We watched a little bit of it in pre-race practice. The car looked very handy, and Steve looked like he was having a whole bunch of fun around it. I think he's pretty familiar with this track, and again in qualifying, putting himself in third position officially.
Yeah, so for me, obviously the two guys at the moment, Nick Firth and Macrolos, if I go back and have a look at the championship point structure, those guys in the box seat with Webley obviously down in pit lane at the moment, and not sure whether he's got something up his sleeve here, whether he comes out of pit lane and gets classified at the start of this race off the back, just decided to sit this one out. I think there could be a little bit of experience playing out here, so we're going to find out very, very shortly.
Look, and a driver of Webley's, Brandon's calibre, could easily start from the back of a pack like this and get fairly close to the pointy end, J-Man. You know that as well as I do. So definitely one to watch and watch that push through
Just come through the 18K mark through the lap.
And the
Shows you how
cars are
big the lap is.
actually starting to bunch together a little bit more now. You can see
Yep.
Dawson slowing, Makalos slowing down. They're actually starting to bunch this field up a little bit as they come around this cresting double triple apexing right-hander here and down onto the back straight. I'm not sure where this timer is going to go off on this lap. I doubt it's going to be down here at the tourist line, but
No,
more likely the main line.
It'll be the traditional main line, I would say.
Oh, you would expect so.
Right about where Brandon Webley's parked. So it'd be interesting to see what Mr. Webley does there. I mean, because this is effectively not a classified lap, it is a warm-up lap. So if he gets classified and released, I'll keep an eye on that, Davo, for yourself and the viewers to see what the 26 car does, because I don't think we should write him off right now.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. Look, he's still showing as on the data as in the pit lane. So, you know, like once these guys have started and cleared the pit lane, he is pretty well free to go. And just watch that first lap. But yeah, look, like I said, a man of this guy's caliber, it can quite often, could quite possibly come sliding through that field. We can just see Perkins lagging well behind in the back. Just catching up to the back of the field now.
Yeah.
As these guys start to get into formation into this final complex of corners here. Costas Makalos, Pete Dawson, Steve Crossland, Danny Kim, Goddard, Worcester, Firth, Sykes, Foster, and Glass. Rounding at the top end, we've got Tracy, McConnell, Wozniak, Goebel, Perkins, and Webley starting from the pit lane.
Time is live.
Green light. And Makalos with a nice jump. Dawson holding his own. Looks
and there's Webley. Webley away.
Webley away already, and Crossy in there as well. So the three Chevys getting all a good start, not really hustling each other, but the Mercedes of Danny Kim already all over the back of Steve Cross.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Plenty going.
To make a move. So Steve, just remember that at the back end of this race, Webley with a set of tyres, it's effectively one lap better off than the competition.
Well, that's too true, and fuel-wise too.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit heavier, but he could have already adjusted that. Plenty going on. Goddard and Worcester as well. There is the Maserati of Foster tucked in behind that. That is Nick Firth, and then Craig McConnell in behind that. So good, clean start here.
Really good start. Firth putting a lot of pressure on Foster now too. Foster putting a lot of pressure on Worcester.
Yeah, look, and I think Firth needs to, before he gets out onto the big circuit. This is something it's a place that he's familiar with, maybe not quite as familiar with the Nordschleife itself. So as they run around that final kink right, they will turn left here and out onto the big track. Makalos leads the way. Pete Dawson.
Firth down the inside of Foster.
Firth having a crack. He knows he needs to get out there. This is where it'll get difficult.
Wozniak with an incident. He's going backwards. Car doesn't look good. He's waiting for someone. I think he's looking for a redress.
He might be looking for a redress there, J-Man.
Who was that with? Was that with Lily Glass? No, hang on.
No, that was Sykes.
It was Sykes, yep.
In one of the Mercedes. So relatively clean start. Oh, we froze that. So yeah, a little bit of muscling there just before the boys and girls roll out onto the main track. A little bit of a wriggle there. I just saw. I think that was Worcester's Porsche there having a bit of a shake. As you see him fly over the first of many jumps actually here at Nords, and Worcester again, a couple of wheels out on the grass through that fast right-hander after the crest. Who's that just
Back a shot is McConnell Firth, and that is on.
That is on, and look at McConnell. Got the Merc up the inside, on the outside, on the inside for that. Firth done well there to make it live out there. I know that corner. That is tough work.
Yeah, he held the inside line. He knew that right hand was coming down through the foxhole. He'll be okay until they get to the back end of this. But he's clearly got a Craig McConnell that's fired up and looking for a way through. We talk about Firth wanting to move forward. Well, he's got a whole lot of Mercedes to contend with first. So maybe in these early stages, better let that Mercedes go and try and go with him.
Yes, Firth, just makes a mistake. I think that's just coming out of the foxhole there. He's going to lose the position to Firth.
Yeah,
wants to put it. Wanted to put his car in between himself, McConnell and Perkins. And Perkins had no, he says. So we might try and pick up on a replay of that. So Firthy, little mistake here.
Good battle. Foster's come on so strong in the last couple of rounds in that Mazda, but back to that replay.
Yeah, so Firth, a little bit of an unforced error there with just getting that pressure from McConnell. And then again, McConnell going past and just trying to sneak his car in between the coming in hot Perkins, and Perkins had was going to have none of it. And kicks around. Firthy, quick, smart. So Perkins and McConnell over Firth there. Tough gig.
Now Webley started from pit lane. He's already up to P13. And on the back of Lily Glass already. So Webley's got a ton of pace, and Lily Glass gets it really sideways out to the fence. Tags the fence. It's an easy pass for Webley. You won't have to ask him twice to take something like that. So his progression is good. Started effectively 16, up to 12th already.
Yes, Glass, I think she's just distracted there. I think the way Webley just came up so quickly, the pace, and
Foster
just went in deep. Oh, tough stuff.
Foster Worcester, that battle was good. That Pro Drive Maserati does look the business. It's looked good for the last couple of weeks. They're really starting to apply the pressure to the back of the Porsche. I think the Porsche's maybe suffering in a little bit of straight line here tonight, I think, from what we saw.
Oh, yeah, but Foster, like you said, the gains he's made over the last couple of weeks have been notable. That it's really come to grips with that Maserati and shown to be a little bit of a thorn.
And they've got McConnell for company now, and McConnell does look good.
He looks racy.
He obviously likes the place because he does look good here. So it's a three-way at the top. Macrolos 4.5 seconds over Dawson's Camaro, over Crossland's Camaro, only 0.4 of a second behind Dawson. So the Camaro's leading the way, and Webley takes another spot. That was Goebel that he's just taken. So he's up to P11, almost into the 10. This is your series leader. It's going to matter where he finishes tonight, and he will have the numbers mathematically already in his head about what he needs to do.
Oh, and he would probably have, as we just see Firthy go, Webley go past Firthy, and so that is a big step there, as Firth running second in the championship at the moment. So plenty to think about. Foster really fighting this Maserati. Is, if you just saw there about 30 seconds ago, big wriggle from that car, well caught up. But look, McConnell can smell the blood, the Maserati blood. And look, another one that has stepped up actually this season, I reckon, is McConnell with consistency and really pushed hard. Clearly likes that Mercedes and feels pretty comfy in that car because he's pushed hard all the way through the series.
Look at Webley here on the McLaren of
already
Perkins.
Perkins, yeah.
So he's right there, as you mentioned. Foster, Worcester, that's still going on. And McConnell just struggling to find his way past. He caught those boys up pretty quickly, but it hasn't been able to do much with them because it's probably too wide every time he looks, because Foster's trying to pass. Oh, here we go. We've got to move on now. Can he fire it down the inside? He can. upsets the line, but Foster's going to live around the outside to give him rights for the next left-hander, and he does that. So he holds off another attack from McConnell. So a very, very intimate pass there from Craig McConnell on Mr. Foster there. So
yeah, Foster
James doing a good job of defending that, actually.
Foster did well there. A lot of pressure from McConnell.
It's not done. It's still going on.
And we got Webley and Perkins at it as well, J-Man.
Yeah, Webley through, but this drag race here, McConnell.
Oh, here we go, here we go.
The Maserati versus the Mercedes. Who has got it? McConnell sitting right underneath the wheel.
Oh, and the Maserati's got the draft on Worcester in the Porsche.
On the Porsche. They're going to go 3 wide down the big back straight. Who is going to have the big kahunas coming in to the final chicane?
Worcester tries to sneak in behind the Mazda. He went in really late too, Kay. So he sort of lost that draft. But look at these two. Side by side.
Yeah, McConnell thinks better of it, grabs the brake, just gets out of it, and Foster prevails there. So that was a great move. Now, something happened to Webley there. I think the McLaren maybe had that outright straight line pace because he was through on Perkins, and Perkins got him back. So I don't know if you can pick up a replay on that, Davo, and just see what happened there. So,
yeah, we do have Perkins.
McConnell
gets no, Perkins is in a straight line. He's got heaps on that Porsche. So he must have been under the wing of the McLaren. Something's going down there. I don't know. I think the Porsche might be carrying a fair bit of wing there.
We've got Glass, Firth and Tracy all in the pits. Now, what is Nick Firth doing in the pits? That is a shocker from the guy running out of P2 in this title fight.
So Webley and Perkins still at it, J-Man. Oh,
car looks good.
So do we have compulsory pit stop here tonight?
No. Looking at the totem, mate, she's all green, so there's no.
So there we go.
There's no requirement. That almost. Let me get a read on the time that they were stopped for. They were stopped for as little much as a splash dash. So maybe it's a fuel requirement here.
Oh, Foster disqualified. Did it say disqualified?
It does. That's the Mazda discoed. So Foster. Did he come into pit lane too fast, or what happened there?
Must have.
Something went on there, but so maybe there's a mandated fuel stop in this race. Try and get a read on all things rules for you people.
We're working on it, ladies and gentlemen, as we speak. So, yeah, interesting to see a few of the guys in the pits there. Obviously, we just commented on Foster clearly blitzing into the pit lane. That's the only thing that can get you disqualified for a pit entry infringement. So, wow.
Okay.
Firthy back in 14th. After he's out, he's back on track. Worcester, McConnell, Goddard. So, because Firthy came into the pits, got out of the battle with McConnell, and Worcester hasn't let McConnell really run away. So, still in touch in the pool. Webley's on his way. And Perkins just in the background. Up the pointy end, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Macrolos. Just heading around the right-hander and down through the foxhole there. Pete Dawson through that lovely corner and right behind Steve Crossland in the number 42 SIMBLACKS Chevy Camaro. 3 Chevys out in front. Nice work. Danny Kim in tow. Chasing down Goddard not too far behind in another Chevy. And then Craig McConnell and Kenneth Worcester. So Chevy and Mercedes fest out here tonight. These things have got the punch in a straight line and can clearly take the turns and the bumps and the grinds that they need to here at
So that begs the question. Webley's got 1.3 seconds over Lee Perkins. Now, what does he need when he comes out on the big back straight? What margin does he need for that McLaren not to just
catch
sit him behind him and pass him down the straight? And you would expect it to be something like the margin he's got to break that toe.
Yeah, he's got a pretty healthy margin there.
1.3, 1.1.
Just trying to pick up where they are on track.
Yeah, they're about sector 2, around about sector 2. About a quarter way through the lap.
Yeah. So still plenty of time. They'll run up the hill here. It'll be interesting too. They get through all this snaky stuff and then down across the bridge and then up the hill. The McLaren might gain a little bit on him because it's a fairly hefty run, all uphill. And you can see that hill in the background there, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Perkins. Is it Larry? It's Lee Perkins.
we can call him Larry if you like.
I think Wally was calling him Larry earlier. So, so nice work. And, chasing or tagged onto the back of Webley after Webley sneaking past in one of the Porsches. Worcester is the next car or cab off the rank for Webley in one of the Porsches. Worcester,
and he's making margin. He is making margin on these boys.
Oh, definitely. But Worcester definitely staying in touch with McConnell with that little three-way exchange we saw there earlier down the big main straight. And Worcester basically losing out, just getting out of that battle. But I thought the McConnell car might have just driven away a little bit, J-Man. You know, the punch of that Mercedes. But Worcester definitely staying tagged onto the back of that. They are actually the two closest cars on track at the moment.
Yeah, and look, Webley's coming. I think the Porsches do look good up the hill. I think the margin was certainly closed a little bit there by Worcester on McConnell there at one point, just not so far back. And then you can look at the time gained there by Webley. He was 1.8 seconds
over Perkins.
Before that little behind Worcester, and that's now 0.9. So he's catching him, and Worcester just probably lost about 0.8 of a second over McConnell through that phase. But they look good in different phases. So the Porsche, I think, responsive to the twisty stuff, and the Mercedes maybe got a little bit more top speed. But you can see the margins closing now. Goddard's starting to really get that Camaro to work at the moment, and Danny Kim in a Mercedes as well. That thing will be no slouch once they hit the big back straight as well. So, using every bit of racetrack was Danny Kim. Webley now 0.5. You can see the distance now of what he's made on Ken Worcester. So
Worcester will be getting distracted now, surely, and it just makes the job a little bit easier for Webley. You can see him range. Once he gets to a certain point, he ranges up so quickly on him. It's because the cars become so big in the mirror, and these guys really, it takes some concentration away from them.
Look, he's already there. He's already there. He's trying to size him up now.
So quickly, Webley ranges in. Worcester, no slouch. That car's been circulating exceptionally and quite quickly. So clearly, as Webley works his way through the field, these guys become harder and harder to pass because they are quicker and quicker to race with.
Look, so he got there, didn't even think about a half chance through that right hand and just decided to sit there. I think he knows that if he's close enough, when he gets out on the big back straight, he'll just tuck him behind. He'll use that draft to try and make some margin. But while this has been going on, the margin went from 0.8, 0.9 initially between Worcester and McConnell to 3.6 seconds. So, or 3.2 to 3.6. So, Webley will look to try and get this pass done and then eyes forward up the road to McConnell.
That
Webley
was awkward.
Takes a really, really wide line there, but he's right underneath the wing. And look who's close again. The McLaren of Lee Perkins, a.k.a. Larry.
Right at the right time, too, mind you.
And he's going to get a double draft here. You watch him at the back end of the back straight.
You watch this thing come.
He's already there. He's
Look at
going to
him.
blow past
Oh,
both
of
these
them.
guys.
Straight down the middle. Here we go.
Straight down the guts. See you later,
Oh,
boys.
my.
Oh, that is demoralising. That is absolutely demoralising because for Brandon Webley, he
just moved over. He could see him coming.
Last lap this happened, and then he got into the lap, passed him back, and it's likely going to happen every lap, and it could potentially happen on the final lap.
So, look, pretty early there. We just watched Perkins actually down in the braking area, got a whole bunch of curb, and really upset the car. Still managed to pull it up, but any gains that he made, he lost pretty well right there. Now with Webley right tucked up towards the back of that. McLaren already round T1.
Look at the punch of this Porsche out of here.
Here we go. It just gets the power down, doesn't it? You can see him just picking up the throttle.
Yeah, he'll
Perkins no slouch though, J-Man.
Yeah, I think Webley will get him on the GP circuit somewhere here though. He'll just have the measure on the turn in and possibly the acceleration. Look at the acceleration of that Porsche. The McLaren's got the top end, the Porsche's got the pickup, and I think it's got the front turning ability. If he can drive around the outside of here, that'll be impressive.
I don't know whether ever he thought he could, but he was going to give it a good red-hot go at it.
Okay.
As we see McConnell, and then this lot up and through the fast chicane at the top of the hill there on the GP circuit.
Webley's got bloody Worcester to contend with because he's still in the fight because effectively the bottleneck by Perkins in the slower corners.
Well, look, Webley was only just overtaking Worcester on the main straight back. Not that far back, just at the end of the last lap. So, and then here comes the McLaren just blasting through, split them through the middle.
Yeah,
Webley just seen him come and moved out of the road. Here we go, on to the main circuit, and it almost looked like Perko just opened the door, but I doubt he did it. He definitely run wide on the left-hander, and Webley out in front again. So watch this.
You'll see Webley drive away from him a little bit here, just through the trickier stuff. However, Perko did a good job in the previous lap to just stay inside that 1.3 to 1.6 seconds. And when they got to the back end, obviously through the byproduct of, I think, Webley getting tucked up in behind Ken Worcester, that really did allow that McLaren from a long, long way back as they entered the back straight to just absolutely unleash the straight line speed top end of that McLaren. So you can already see the margin there that Webley's put on Perko. He's already put 1.3 seconds on him. So can Webley bring back that 2.3 seconds to McConnell over the next 20 odd Ks? I think he can.
I think he can too.
Okay, so Macrolos now out to a 15.5 second lead over PD. So Dawson doing nothing wrong. He's still holding a 2.5 second margin over Crossland, one of our main sponsors here, Crossy 43, rocking the SIMBLACKS livery as well, one of the other primary sponsors to the series. So doing a fantastic job, and like we've said all night, Crossy looks really, really comfy in that Camaro around here, knows the place really well.
Yeah, look, we watched him a little bit in pre-race practice, and just you can tell he knows the circuit, pushing the car where he knows he can. But yeah, really hooked up with the Chevy here. Look, all the Chevys. Look, we got 1, 2, 3 there, J-Man. We got a Merc, another Chevy, and a Merc. So clearly these things just eat this place up. Loving it.
And getting back to that backstory, so obviously we saw Webley pass Perko effectively into the start of the Nordschleife circuit, and then pulled 1.3 seconds. And then when we came effectively down through the faster part of the circuit there, all of a sudden Perkins had crushed the margin down again, with all that top speed that thing's got when it gets to wind up, and then now he's stretched it back out again with some of the more technical part of the circuit, the tighter, twistier stuff that the Porsche deals with so well. But yeah, in the interim, no margin made, probably a little bit of margin lost, to be honest, on McConnell. So
yeah, and Worcester actually just losing a bit to Perkins at the moment. I think Perkins is actually really trying to stay in touch here with Webley, obviously, and they're starting to run up the hill here now. That is the McConnell car you can see just up in front of them there. Yes, it is. So, and if we look over the rear wing of Craig McConnell's car, you can see both of those yellow cars, the black, white and yellow Porsche of Webley and the bright yellow car of Mr. Perkins. So,
mate, and I'm excited to see what happens on the back straight again. Probably not as much as not as much as probably Perkins, but I am pretty excited to see what happens. Oh, so we've got James Foster just tuning in here. Too hot into pit lane, no practice done. Yeah, that's super unfortunate, mate, because we were just pumping your tyres up a little bit there, James, on how good you have had that Maserati going in the last couple of weeks. And the car looks super strong at your hands tonight around the Nordschleife. Looked like the setup was good, putting a lot of pressure on the likes of, at the time, I think it was... who was he with? He was with Worcester and co. McConnell was in there, I think. So, yeah, good battle. Unfortunate, unlucky. However, we'll be looking forward to seeing you back out on the track again soon in the next series. So,
oh, hell yes. Yeah,
well done.
Yeah, nice work throughout the series, actually. In the Maserati, really came to grips with it towards the end of the series. So yeah, we're missing it out on track already.
So 2.2 seconds becomes 1.4, and that is Webley's chase on Craig McConnell. So watch that space.
Yeah, look, yes, Perkins, like you mentioned, just dropping back through the really tactical stuff. He actually looked like he made a bit of a gain on him up the hill. So just between the top of the hill and where they are now, which isn't that far, he's dropped way back. So quite possibly might have had a little bit of a brown moment, and he looks like he's backed off a little bit there. I wonder if that car's damaged. Doesn't look too bad. Worcester in the background, he's backed off a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So pretty much status quo there, but it's Webley now chasing down Mr. McConnell. Crossland actually not that far from old Pete here either, J-Man.
Yep.
So
not a lot.
So
hey, so we might just go with a little bit something here, Adlib, if you like there, Davo. We have got a driver that we've just been talking to through the live chat, and we might just take the opportunity to get some insights from a driver that was out there for the first quarter of this race, and just get his take on everything out there and how he sees this. So we will welcome to the booth Mr. James Foster, mate. Condolences, mate. I think that was going to be a fantastic result for you had it not been for that pit entry. Give us your view on what happened there, and then we might query you on a couple other things out there on track.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said to you in the live chat on the stream, it was just I did no pit lane practice because I didn't think it was necessary. I had enough, had the setup done, so I didn't need to stop for the 1 hour. But hey, look, just with everything that was going on at the start, with formation laps and stuff like that, quickly made the decision to have a fuel stop, mandatory fuel stop, just to keep everything fair, which is fair enough. So yeah, I thought, I'll dive in on the first lap, do a sort of splash and dash, see where I end up, and go from there. But no, just coming to the pit lane too hot. Didn't realise the boards were right there, and just locked up. I think I entered the pit lane, or watched the replay. I think I entered the pit lane at about 140 kilometres an hour. So yeah, no, that was it, mate. She was all over.
Yeah, okay. And as we're just talking to you live, we actually just saw the 26 car of Brandon Webley really tucked up underneath of the Mercedes of Craig McConnell. Now, Craig McConnell taking the opportunity to do that mandatory fuel stop as we speak. So looking at that, that was really, really close with Webley and McConnell. But talk to us a little bit about what you saw out there. You were in a big battle, and there was a lot of drafting going on. How much is it noticeable out there, the strengths and weaknesses of the cars? Obviously, we've been watching closely with how strong the Perkins McLaren is down the straight, but is it that noticeable out there driving with that top speed?
Well, I mean, I wasn't with McLaren, so I couldn't compare speeds. But the Maserati's down on top speed, and compare it to the Mercedes at least. Anyway, I think it's not too bad against the Porsche. I mean, you get the draft down the long straight, so you know it's a chance to almost grab some free fuel mileage as well if you wanted to do something like that. But yeah, that straight's just a chance to have a breather and have a think about how you're going to attack the next lap. And yeah.
So would it be fair to say, based on what we saw your performances out at Zolder and then obviously here tonight, the Maserati very, very good under brakes and good turn-in, was it, James?
Yeah, it took a couple of rounds to get used to the braking. Obviously, the Maserati, no ABS, no traction control. Yep. So it took a couple of rounds just to get the braking point as to where I like it and get the brake pedal set up. So you pretty much, so when the pedal's flat on the stops, you're not engaging full braking power. And it's just working on the confidence with it, getting the feel once tyres are up to temperature. So it's a bit of a science with the braking. Turn-in's pretty good. Nothing too drastic with setup. I mean, I was running pretty basic setups the whole season, but based on the aggressive preset. So just with a couple of tweaks. But yeah, we got the braking good. Turn-ins was a strong point. Exit, I just had to be careful on the throttle and not be too overzealous, because it obviously no traction control, light the rears up quite nicely, and you can easily lose time out of corners.
Yeah, yep, no, absolutely. Hang in there, mate, because I just want to pick up on this. I'm not sure if you're watching live, but Webley now really closed the margin down on George Goddard's Camaro. Not sure what he'll feel like on the big back straight with the Camaro down here when they get through this fast section where we are right now. It doesn't look like he's lost anything. It was about 0.8, 0.9 when they entered that section, and he's still there. So I think maybe the Porsche got a little bit more over the Camaro and the tighter stuff as well. So we'll watch that intently. Now, just getting back to that, talking to you about the no traction control, no ABS, just want to give ourselves and maybe the viewers a little bit of insight to what hardware you're running, James, because that can often have a big bearing on how you deal with those things in relation to setting up a set of pedals with whatever you're running. So what wheel/pedal/sim rig are you actually operating with, mate?
So my sim rig is actually a bit of a piece together, really. So I'm running a Racetech /MRX chassis. Running Heusinkveld Ultimate pedals, which are great for adjustability and feel.
Yep.
Had to modify those a little bit as well. So what I found was the braking rubbers that come with the pedal were actually too soft. I was putting too much force through them. So what I ended up doing was going to an engine rebuilder and grabbing a whole bunch of valve springs.
Okay. Right. Okay.
So I'm currently running sort of 3 valve springs. So a short one, and then a larger one with a smaller one in the middle, and it gives for me good travel, good consistency. When I put my foot flat to the floor, I know it's going to be there. Whereas actually, what was happening was with the rubbers, I was actually blowing them out.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. So
we have heard of this in the past with the elastomers failing mid-race.
Yeah. And there was a couple of emergency stops I had to do, especially in the early days. And blew them to bits, so it's just not going to work. Carrying on, so the steering wheel is not a common steering wheel. It's a Sim Experience AccuForce wheel, which a lot of isn't particularly common versus your Fanatec's or your other sorts of brands. And then so I run no paddle shifters or anything like this. I have a Jinx
Nice shifter. Very, very nice shifter.
Yep. So I run a Jinx V8 shifter with the anti-roll bars and the brake bias to my left, and then a sort of almost Larry Perkins Tower of Power kind of switch panel off to my left as well.
Oh, nice stuff. Now we'll just get a quick pickup on what we saw there. Now, Davo, I just want to bring you in here, mate. Did that look like a really easy rollover from Goddard with Webley? It looked an uncontested pass, yeah?
It looked like Goddard actually just on that first little short straight run up the hill, rolled out of the throttle there in the Camaro. Webley had chased him down and it looked uncontested. Wasn't even an overtake, it was up the hill, so it's a straight line. There was no braking. But look, clearly Webley with some pace in the Porsche. It'll be interesting to see how long his tyres last. We are in the second half of the race, guys. So yeah, plenty going on still. Actually, Crossland coming up tightly behind Dawson as well. But you guys carry on, James. Carry on.
Yeah, well, I want to just throw it out to you both, just a bit of a conundrum maybe to think about a little bit later on. We saw that Webley came in very, very hot in behind Craig McConnell. McConnell opting to take that mandated pit stop, as we saw as James came to the booth. Now, one of the pickups on that, and I want to query you both on it, was first and foremost, we saw somebody like Prince Tracy doing a 6-second stop, which is probably something you'd think about, splash and dash, 6 seconds and you're off out of there. Craig McConnell, 48 seconds on the jack, sees him in pit lane for 1:27. James, what's your thoughts on that stop and what that might do to what is the battle that could have been between Webley and McConnell moving forward?
Yeah, well, I mean, I suppose McConnell would be going forward hoping that Webley does potentially have a problem. Very unlikely, but I mean, the guess would be, or the educated guess would be, that Craig's picked up a bit of damage. A minute and 20, whatever it was in the pits, is a bit longer than fuel and tyres. So he probably would have been hoping to get some damage sorted, and then he can run full noise to the end of the stint.
Oh, sorry, mate. I'm going to interrupt you there. We just see PD on the right-hander just getting a whole lot of grass, and now that is given an opportunity.
Go, Steve.
Likewise, manufacturer in the Camaro is Steve Crossan in the SIMBLACKS Crossy 43 Camaro. He's going to run down now. He's on the optimal side there. Could live all the way down there. However, for the sweep through the final right-hand part of that, you would favour Pete Dawson's line, but I think Crossy's potentially going to clear him here. But that is a battle that's going to go all the way down, and there you go. PD just tucks in, but he'll get a little bit of draft. It'll be a little too late, I think.
Yeah. I thought PD would have potentially tried the side draft there to try and slow Steve down, but you've also got to be careful how close you get to these guys as well, because 23 minutes left to go. You don't want to be too aggressive or do anything too crazy.
Nah, not at that speed either. That is full noise.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Now, so mathematically, it's been something that's on our mind. Obviously, Webley coming into this points leader and a healthy points lead. Obviously, golf scores looking like the option this season for the series, and he comes in on 8 points. And I think the next best was, Nick Firth on 21, and then Macrolos on 23. So Webley would have already crunched the numbers. I don't know if you guys have all talked about it at all, or there's been any chatter about it. But look, you would expect that a 5th place or better is going to do the job on that. So he'll be pretty comfy out there on those numbers. However, still plenty of time for mistakes to be made, and you're living proof too, without rubbing salt, James, that it can just go bad so quickly.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, there's not really that much chat in regards to championship points and stuff like that between drivers. Crossy.
Right.
Got him back. Yep, very good. No, there's not really much about championship points. We sort of do the maths.
He doesn't want to give it up.
No, and why would you? Good racing from the two lads.
Pete Pete,
Yeah.
very, very good race. So a lot of respect from both of these guys. Class act, both of them.
Absolutely.
Look at
But
Pete Parker in the middle. Carry on, James. You're right.
But yeah, going back to the chat, it's just it's the maths that you do on your head and during the season and quick maths and you just go out, do your best, and see if you can land a good result. Really.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, speaking of quick maths, Nick Firth with a message through the live chat. GameStop reading his wheelbase input say he is
Oh no.
stranded in pit lane, and that has huge implications to his championship. He's in
Yes.
such a strong position, had such a consistent season, but I cannot take my eyes off these two Camaros, the 43 car, the 54 car. They are going at it, and this isn't going to end anytime soon. These guys will race hard and fair,
Absolutely.
right the way through the lap.
Yeah, too. Like I mentioned, class acts. These guys, super respectful drivers, high racing IQs, and look at this. Equal make racing right there. We got Wozniak and McConnell too trading places there. I think Wozniak. I don't think Wozniak's pitted, has he? McConnell had that big long one. Oh, maybe he has. So
I'll give you a read on that, mate. I'll let you know.
so McConnell in Wozniak 11th, McConnell in 12th.
No, Wozniak had, and that's the difference. Like I said, 48 seconds stationary for Craig McConnell versus 9 seconds stationary for Sam Wozniak. So that's the difference. So that's a legitimate battle out on track for position.
So a couple of Mercedes going on in the background there for position, and a couple of Camaros out here at the pointy end. Well, there's a trio actually.
Take a look at Sam. At Sykes's car in the pit lane. So that's James Sykes, and it is a busted crab. The bonnet's up, lights dislodged on the right hand side. That thing has been engaged in a massive accident. James, your car's sitting pretty behind it, but
yeah, no, it's a bit unfortunate we can't go out there and do a good run for the this race. Times were looking pretty good, and I was managed getting them pretty consistent. I was down 905s, and it felt really good. But hey, look, just that one mistake ruined it. So hey, look, it is what it is, and we'll just we'll just have to give it another go at another point.
Yeah, hey, look, in a sim races, I guess that's the beauty part. We get to go out there and do it again often the next week, and we all live and learn from our mistakes. And mate, there's many of us that have been unfortunately caught by the pit bugs and stuff. What happens in there, too fast on the entry, or maybe releasing the line, or grabbing second gear and disengaging the limiter. There's so many things that can happen. That's why, as commentators, we often love the races where there's a mandated pit stop, because that's often the top 1% that changes things. And look at this battle as well with Wozniak McConnell. That is not going away. He is right on the rear bumper of him, as is Crossland, Dawson. Strengths and weaknesses. But I just wonder whether maybe McConnell being released now, whether he just marches on up the road, might have just a slight superior pace.
And it looks like Wozniak has a little bit of front end damage, which could hurt him aerodynamically in the quicker sections. So, I mean, with Craig taking that extra, we're not quite sure whether he repaired much damage, but with Craig taking the extra time, at least he's got full aero in his car and can attack 10 tenths.
Yeah, I think you're right, because the car looks super clean. Doesn't look like there's a scratch on that thing of McConnell's. So once again, Crossland, Dawson, it's getting hot up there for P2, P3. Macrolos doing the business, 28 to 30 odd seconds, depending on where the timing loop picks them up. It is a massive, massive lead. At top of the broadcast, I talked to Davo, James, about the importance of Macrolos getting out there, maybe pushing hard for a couple of laps, getting a margin, and then literally just underdriving the car and just you know, maybe not underdriving it too fast so you lose your focus, but to a number that, you know, maintains his lead. And, you know, he's in a position now for the next 17 and a quarter minutes where he doesn't really have to do anything special.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is. Yeah, and if I was in a position like that, yeah, it would be pushed like hell for the first couple of laps, and then button off, see where everything is, where everything lies, and then develop a number and go from there.
Yep. So he's still got to make that, obviously, that official, that CPS, and, you know, expect to probably see him get down on the limit well early because he's under no pressure at all. So, however, mistakes still happen. And
Yes,
talking of
yes.
mistakes, I just saw Dawson he's really ragging it, using every bit of track. He's right up on the cobblestones through the apex there. It's just allowed Crossan just to close up a little bit more. Once again, he's going to be right in touch to the back part of the lap when they come up to that big back straight. And we saw him do this a lap ago. Got right on the rear bumper, got on the draft. He's right in the slot once again to be able to put that move on. I think if he can stay with him through this next series of corners and then through that second sort of little bit of a carousel, get a good run out of there, he'd be right in touch. But
yeah, absolutely. As long as he's within a second of the car in front, he should pick up a draft quite well.
They're both pushing very, very hard. You could see that Crossan was out on the grass. And then looked like PD was maybe a little bit cautious into the little carousel corner there. Now, what is the margin? It's 0.6, so you'd say it'd be close enough, boys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, a big accident back on the replay. Sorry, boys. Sam Wozniak, Craig McConnell, both those cars in serious trouble. Big damage. Big damage. Bigger damage for Sam Wozniak, but McConnell's car does not look good. The bonnet is up.
Okay. Ooh. Just picked it up on the replay there.
Oh.
I think.
Oh, unforced by McConnell into the fence, and then Wozniak with nowhere to go cleans him up.
Two very beaten Mercs there that were fighting hard out for their position. But total unforced, total racing incident, that one.
So that's McConnell just having to push so hard from, you know, the longer pit stop. Yeah, and hey, look, back to the Crossan-Dawson story. I can tell you that Crossan didn't get that run that time round. Couldn't make any margin on PD at the end of the back straight. So it's status quo. Pete Dawson in second, Crossan in third. We do have Danny Kim to make his official pit stop, and we'll get a read live on how long he's stationary for.
So, yeah, Danny was getting chased down by Webley there. I think there was about 2.5 seconds last time I looked.
Yeah, and Goddard Perkins to follow suit, so they're making their stop. So drivers looking to try and do this because we potentially only got this one and one more. Where is Macrolos in the lap? Okay, so he's just started another lap. He is on the GP circuit, so yeah, just remembering that we thought we'd see around 7 laps. Currently we are on lap 5, so that would be conducive to what we're seeing. So likely going to see the likes of Macrolos and Webley and co go next time round, and that'll be the opportunity.
We'll just spend a few minutes in car here with Mr. Macrolos, actually, leader of the race, in the Chevy around Nords. He's definitely got a handle on that thing.
Yeah, he has. Beautiful.
It sounds...
Best sounding car in the GT4, second to the Maserati. We've talked about that
Of course.
all season long, how sweet that Maserati sounds. Now, that thing made 261 kilometers an hour before he grabbed a little bit of braking down the gearbox for the left-hander through that far section there, and then probably was very similar pace to that as he dropped down into the foxhole as well. So no slouches, the Camaro. It's got plenty of top-end speed. Be interesting to know what the likes of Perkins's car makes as far as terminal speed down there, because that car is just a rocket ship in a straight line. But MATCHFIT looks so in control of that car. It looks picture perfect, hitting all the apexes, looks well in control. So one wonders whether at the moment he's actually just driving that thing to maybe 90%. Back to those pit stops too, boys. So just a little bit of a glance there. Prin Tracy, 6-second stop. Danny Kim, 15. Goddard, 11. And Perkins, 13. Now, that's significant. You were talking about Webley was chasing down Goddard prior to that pit stop. Was that correct, Davo?
Yeah, well, Goddard...
Or was it Kim? No, it was Goddard. Yeah, it was Goddard. So 11 seconds to stop. So you talked about
it was Danny Kim, yes. And
okay,
so Kim got out before he got there. And
okay. So look, if the margin was what you called 2.5 seconds.
Yep.
And then Danny Kim's gone in and rocked a 15-second stationary to give him a 51-second overall transit time. If Webley comes in now and just rocks a modest 6 or 7 second pit stop and gets in and out in around 44, 45, even 46 seconds, he's going to have a few seconds over Danny Kim, and that'll see him inside the top 6 for this one. So doing a good job. Webley on current positions, up 12 positions since the start of this race, obviously with the likes of a couple of guys having made pit stops in front of him. But it'll be very much a watch the space in this next lap, because expect the final guys to make their stop. And there is only Webley, Crossland, Dawson, McCullough to make their mandated stops before the end of this race. So it's going to get busy at the back end, I think, for certainly for Webley. So it'll be a make or break situation there to whether or not he can grab a couple more spots.
Yes, and then also just watching the penalties come up as well after pit stops. So Lee Perkins with the drive-through, Daniel Kim, and even Craig McConnell for stop and go 30 seconds for pit lane violations. So
there you go.
Ouch! Oh dearie me! And look. This is a lot of this is probably coming from like what caught you out as well, James. Just that those boards come up so quickly, don't they? Coming on.
Yeah, they do. As soon as
short.
Yeah, as soon as you pull off the circuit and down the pit lane into the Armco, and you spot the signs, and by the time you've done the maths, you've overcooked it. And yeah, so these guys must have just overcooked it, whereas I overcooked it a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Lee Perkins, the drive-through that he's got's likely going to be track infringements as opposed to a pit stop infringement, and we just see Perkins in the fence. So he's pushing hard. He knows he's got a drive-through. And look, the transit time to go through that pits isn't going to be too serious, but it's going to be enough. Like it's hard enough to make a second or two on track, let alone maybe losing 15 odd seconds through the lane.
Yeah, indeed. And then, like you say, it's a long transit through the pit lane. So, yeah, a drive-through here is quite a severe penalty in itself. Unfortunately, you've got Danny Kim and McConnell with stop and go 30 seconds penalties as well. So that favours
well for the likes of Lily Glass and Ken Worcester.
Yeah.
I think they're in the box seat to grab that position from Lee Perkins, and also Danny Kim for that matter. He's got to stop go 30, and we look at the margins. We got Goddard around 6 seconds behind him, and then Perkins another 11 seconds. Well, he's going to trundle. So does it mean that Worcester Glass make it all the way maybe up to that top 6? They grab a few positions.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a possibility. I mean, yeah, so, you know, this is the whole name of the game, especially with races this long. Keep your nose clean, keep out of trouble, and you never know where a result may find you.
Now, just as we speak, we've got Macrolos coming down the back straight. 6 minutes 43 to go. We know that these top 4, Macrolos, Dawson, Cross and Webley, all got to make their stop this time around. So I'm going to watch with interest on Costas Macrolos to see just how calm he is with his entry. He talked about the pit boards being pretty much at the start of the lane. It's a pretty quick entry, isn't it, James? So you got to be a little bit careful about how...
Absolutely.
So here he is. He's in the lane, fires it in there, hard on the brakes.
It looked way too fast, but
yeah, he pulled it up, no problem
he did pull
at
it
all.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the telemetry on, and he got down to 49k an hour well before the line.
So Dawson and Crossland, it's the trio of Chevys, but these guys inseparable. A couple extra car lengths between them just at the moment, but it's Dawson. It's a big talent. And Crossland.
Crossland.
So the left tags the fence. Here they go. Both in.
Oh, Crossland made some margin there. Gets it down to 48 an hour before the lane, but he actually made some margin on the way. And so Pete was very conservative on the entry. Now,
they both look rattled though, didn't they? As they were coming down through that back section there.
Webley all the way down to 37k an hour before the lane. So, you know, we've called a lot of races over a long period of time, and we see that the absolute guns at pit strategies coming in, and they don't drop below 49, and it's at the very last second. So Webley was super safe about that. I think he knows he's got some car pace out there. So
Crossy out first.
Yeah, Crossy with the 8 second versus Pete Dawson's 10 seconds. So that's the 2 second difference, mate. And that'll be big. You know, that's big for those boys. Brandon Webley, he needs to do better than about 11 or a 15 to stay ahead of Tracy and Co. It's going to be tight. Here he goes. He's out. Okay, so Webley's out P4, and that is effective. Danny Kim comes and takes that stop go 30. That's going to be like a Greg Murphy moment at Bathurst, mate. Is there a Portaloo somewhere for Danny Kim?
So the one that's really benefited is Tracy. Has he not come in yet?
You know, he's made his stop, mate. He had a 6 second station to be effectively the fastest guy in the pit lane.
Yep. Well. Here we go. Right to the end. Macrolos out on the big circuit now with 3 minutes and 41 seconds to go. So they're going to get this one and another one done like we suspected.
It'll be this one.
It'll be the end of this one.
This is the final lap. This is the final lap. So that 0.8 margin from Pete Dawson to Steve Crossland, that's what it's all about, to see who goes top 2 or top 3. And then Webley has got around about 20 odd seconds, I think, on corrected timing to those boys. So bit of a big ask for Webley to try and catch Pete and Crossy.
Yep.
Yep.
And no, so yeah, positions changed, and it all happened in the pits just moments ago as we now see Steve Crossland in the number 43 SIMBLACKS Chevy Camaro in front, leading the way. These guys inseparable pretty well throughout the whole race, J-Man. And
they've signed up for a great night.
And still are, but just roles reverse. These guys change position. One more lap. It'll be a good run to the finish here from these two guys, I suspect.
Yeah, same with 7th and 8th. Lily Glass, Ken Worcester. We talked about these guys benefiting out of the Perkins, Kim misfortune with obviously a drive-through and then a stop-go. for Danny Kim.
Yep.
So Worcester Glass both benefiting from that. I think Goddard, Tracy were legitly going to be there anyway. So yeah, just looking at that margin there between Worcester and Lily, that's going to be a great battle for this final lap as well. But hey, look, Macrolos, we've got to just give him a quick shout out. Hasn't had a lot of airtime tonight, other than a little bit of in-car. Just watching the super smooth wheel work of Acostas for tonight. He's got this thing on lock, and yeah, this will probably be the longest lap of the night for him because it's pretty much meat and drink now. But done the business, and I still don't think it's over between Pete Dawson and Steve Crossland.
Definitely not. And one we will continue to watch. And Crossy now leading the way, and like it after following or chasing, like they say, for most of the race, to be out in front can be it can mix up your rhythm a little bit, can't it?
Yeah. Hey, look, I personally, some guys, I mean, depends on the last lap. You'd like to be in front always, I think. But look, in the earlier phases of the race, myself personally, I'd prefer to be the lead car. I just think that, I don't get too consumed with the mirrors and just stay in the rhythm and do my thing. And I think there's parts of this racetrack, you and I both know the circuit very, very well. There's parts of this racetrack that are actually incredibly hard to follow, to hit your marks. There's other parts that not so bad. But yeah, so I mean, Crossy's in the box seat now. Pete's got all the work to do. So, look, you and I have both driven with Pete. We've obviously had a bit of a steer with him in the recent months.
Oh, both of these boys.
Yep. Quality steerers.
Yeah, definitely.
Good run off of there for Pete. Just a little bit. He was a little bit tighter on the apex. Crossy was a little bit looser.
Yeah, he got a bit Crossy got a bit of a graze on the outside wall there actually as they went over the bridge. Just scuffing up the mirrors there a little bit, and again runs deep there. He's feeling the pressure.
Now this is a flat chat section. Now coming up here, James, the final left-hand part of this. Do you got to roll off the throttle with these cars, or can you run through there flat?
No, so for me, it's a lift and down to fourth for this left-hander. The car just doesn't have the grip to go through it flat or roll out of it. It's a good opportunity to make time if you were chasing. So yeah, let's just see what these boys do.
Yeah, we just saw a little stab of the brake from both of them there, just on the entry, just to set the nose of the car up to make that apex. And look, it'll be all about just staying in the right spot for Pete. He'll want to just stay there for the lap.
But look, the gap between the cars did not change. Unbelievably, it only changed as they went across the little cresting right-hander after it. And Dawson got off the back of Crossland's wing. But super close stuff there.
See, that's a section there through the carousel. I think being the lead car, I think you've just got a little bit more vision.
Yep.
And it paid benefits there for Crossy. He just made a little bit. He made a couple more tenths of a second there, but maybe about 4 tenths through the carousel there, just by being the lead car and being able to sight that apex clearly, and just got off of their right. I think maybe coming down here, those of us that have done plenty of laps, and yourself, James, you know where to place the car for the apex of this continuous roller coaster down here. You got to almost rob Peter to pay Paul on some of these corners. Don't get too greedy on the first one. Get ready for the next one.
Absolutely, and it's exactly that. Just as Steve gets a little bit crossed up out of there. But yeah, absolutely. It's just you have to sacrifice one corner to get some good speed on the next one, and which corner you sacrifice is completely dependent on the car as to how much of a drive you get. Crossy running wide there again. And you've just got to pick your lines, pick your moments, know where your car's good, and know where you can get the drive to the next better drive for the next corner.
Yeah, now we will stick with this battle, and then we might just do a little breakaway just very briefly when we do see Macrolos come across the line. He is just coming onto the big back straight, so we'll stay with PD and Steve Crossland now. Now Crossy with a good little sector of corners through there, just managed to just make that margin out a little bit more, but Pete's a pretty wily fox. He will work out
Yeah,
how to
look,
maybe bridge that margin back, and he's already back there already. So,
Pete's corner entry is
oh, he looked good off of
exceptional.
there.
He
He
is
looked
so
very good
quick
there.
in under brakes and initial turn in that car. It is hooked up. Crossy looked a little bit skatey. And again,
Maybe looking at the mirrors.
the car looks slippery. And
Is he close enough?
He's easily close enough.
Yep.
He's
Crossy trying to break the toe. Oh, it's going to be odd. Now, where is Macrolos? He's about to cross the line. Sideways across the line. Congratulations, Costas Macrolos. All right, we will flick back to the battle. Dawson round the outside. Can he hold the rights to the right-hander that is critical at the end of the straight? They come through the fast dogleg left. He's still there. He's still there. They're going to go side by side. Can he pull the car over the curb?
Oh, Dawson,
just
can
in
he
front of
stop this
Crossland.
thing?
He's going to get this
He's not
done.
going to stop it.
Oh, he's not going to stop it. Crossy's going to come around the outside. Both of them sideways. Who's going to get it?
It's going to go across the line.
Who is going to get it?
I think
Pete Dawson. No, it's Steve Crossland. Crossland gets it over Pete Dawson. What a fantastic finish.
Oh, what a
60-minute
brilliant
race
finish.
at the Nordschleife.
What a
Fantastic.
finish. Steve Crossland.
0.018 of a second.
That's got to be the closest margin of the season. And Brandon Webley, take a bow, comes home from the back of the grid, started pit lane, bit of a smart play, didn't do the formation lap, got into it off the back, drives the car up to 4th position.
Yeah, good drive.
To a result that I think probably sees him take this title. And then Prince Tracy, quite achiever tonight, did a beautiful job, had a great pit stop, 6 seconds on the jacks, season 51 seconds transit. That played big dividends. And then George Goddard had a fantastic season as well and a great race coming home P6. Lily Glass, good performance. Saw Lily really strong at the start of the season and then just lost her way a little bit through a couple of them, but come back with a good performance at the Nordschleife for P7.
P7, well deserved.
Ken Worcester holds out Lee Perkins. Now, Worcester actually had a great battle last 2 laps with Lily Glass, and Lily just managed to pull away a little bit there, but Worcester with a good job there, P8. Qualified really well in that first phase of qualifying, did Ken. Actually, one of the cars that did actually classify a lap, and then Perkins, we see Perko come across the line, and that lightning quick McLaren.
Just do a couple of extra wheel camber adjustments, toe in or something there.
You probably didn't want to get too excited because Danny Kim wasn't that far behind. So Danny Kim rounds out the 10, and then we would see classified over Sam Wozniak, Craig McConnell, Sykes, Goebel, Firth with a night that just got away from him. And then obviously James, we've had the good pleasure of having James up in the booth here for this one, which was bloody awesome, I might add, mate. So thanks for throwing it out there to come up. Not too many people got the balls to come up here and have a chat with us, so we do appreciate it.
Oh, no worries at all. Thank you for having me, lads.
Yep, no, fantastic. Well, look, I think what we'll do is we will grab Pete Dawson straight off the bat, and you just hang around, James, because I'm sure you may have a question or two for these boys. Being a fellow racer and competitor in the series, we'll grab Pete Dawson down for a quick chat. Peter, you got us on comms?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Mate, how fantastic was that racing? You'd missed out by, what was the margin, James? 0.18?
Yeah, 0.018 of a second between you and Crosby, mate. Very good drive, and we were all on the edge of our seats at the end of that one. That was fantastic.
Yeah, I don't mind missing out at all. It was just great fun the whole time. So I got a bit loose at the end there.
No, we saw that.
Yeah, you both did. So it just showed us that you left nothing left out there. You know, it was all or nothing for you boys, and it felt like it was all or nothing for a fair while, actually, Petey. So very, very good race, mate. I'm sure you're well spent after 60 minutes of that action because you didn't get any let up, mate. You're either being chased or chasing Crossy.
Yeah, it was quality laps the whole time. Thoroughly enjoyed it, but yeah, I'm pretty spent.
Well done, Pete. Cheers for the chat, mate. Fantastic series, mate. Absolute awesome to watch you going at it, and you look well hooked up the back end in that Camaro, actually. So well done, buddy.
Cheers, guys.
Mate.
Good on you, Pete.
All right, and the next guy we'll grab down is none other than our very own naming right sponsor, Crossy 43, driving the SIMBLACKS car and gets home by 0.018 of a second over his good mate, Pete Dawson. What a fantastic race, Crossy.
Mate, I've got a smile on my dial, probably about 10 inches wide, I reckon.
Mate, is that the epiphany of sim racing right there? That's what you sign up for, yeah?
At it, not a single contact, and you just couldn't give anything. It was incredible.
Yeah, fantastic, mate. What a great way to end the series, Crossy, mate. That one I think will stick with you for a fair while, mate. And I think echoing the words of PD, I don't think it would have mattered whether it was him in front or you in front. I think you guys clearly at some degree won the night. You know, plenty of TV time and you know, fantastic racing for for the better portion of that race. I can't even remember of a time during that race that you guys weren't together.
5 seconds, probably on lap 2 or 3, they just got away a bit, and then I just sort of clawed him back again. Just waiting for different parts of the track. I knew I was quicker through sector 3, and just sort of managed to close it, and then got a good draft on him, and then just kept it interesting. I couldn't keep it in front of him, so when I passed him, he just straight back. I had nothing, and then the tyres were getting a bit slippery at the end, so I was managing that, and I saw his were going. It was awesome, just so good.
Tell us what you're thinking, Crossy, when you come down the big back straight on the final lap. PD comes out to the right-hand side, knows that he probably knows if he can live down the right side of you, he's probably going to have rights to the right hand. Did you have in your mind that you were going to try and stick on the left-hand side for the final turn, or what was the plan?
I was going to, see, I normally, what I wanted to do is go through that first kink, that left-hander. Well, I saw him coming. I'll wind back. Saw him coming. I knew he was going to get alongside, so when he pulled out, he kind of hit a wall, and it didn't really kick in that much. So we were still side by side going to that last sector, that last section. Then I thought, okay, I'm going to push him to the left and see how he goes, give him room, and then just waited. And I thought, nah, okay, I'll hit the anchors now and be safe. And then he just went in too deep, couldn't pull it up, and race to the finish, man.
But yourself, once you see the replay yourself, you'll see that you got sideways, had a wiggle, lost a bit of traction too as well. So it was super tight, mate. Like, you obviously timed that perfectly, like pinpoint. But it was, mate, to take it down to the line, you did yourself and everybody watching a favour. That was just such a good call, mate, at the back end. It was just, brilliant. I mean, and it lasted for so long, but well played at the end and held your nerve right down to the final corner. That was just epic, mate. Absolutely fantastic. And hey, look, I know you've still got a job to do. Got a great prize to give away. And congrats to yourself and your team, mate. Another well-constructed series and very synonymous with Rainlight Racing, mate. You guys are doing fantastic stuff. So appreciate being able to call your season again.
Both of you guys, that was we love it. It's awesome to watch these streams back the next day. Most guys do it from work, and it just elevates the whole thing, and it's such a good package you guys do. So thanks a hell of a lot for that.
Yeah, no worries, Crossy. All right, unless the boys have got some parting notes, mate, we'll leave you to it. Thank you for the chat, and well done on a well-earned P2.
Yeah, well done, mate.
Thanks, guys.
So there you go, Steve Crossan from P2.
Yes, and about to give away the Neo X, SIMBLACKS Neo X hub. So, awesome stuff.
Right, come with the man.
James probably should be in there. Just maybe you might get it too. So.
Yeah, could do. So, hey, look, last but not least is Costas Macrolos, just an absolute class above tonight, mate. Give us a bit of an insight to I guess the quali to start with was very impressive, and then break us up the race and tell us how you're feeling. Did you lose concentration being that far in front, or was it all scripted to plan?
Oh, mate, I was just in autopilot towards the end there, but most of the time I was just watching the Delta, watching Crossy and Dawson sitting about a second apart the whole time.
Yeah, no, hey, look, they did engage in what was a bloody good dog fight, mate, and I'm sure you'll enjoy the stream back later. But hey, look, we went. Davo gave us the luxury of going on board with you for a bit, and it just looked picture perfect. Looked like the car was doing everything you wanted it to, and you know, as we were watching throughout the night, was questioning, you know, I called at the top of the stream, you know, if you could make a break at the start, make a margin, would you end up driving that thing home at 90%? Was it a little bit like that, or were you pushing the whole way?
Nah, just flat to the floor the whole way. Why not? If I'm
Yep.
going to bin it, I'm going to bin it.
Any scary moments, mate, that we missed?
There was one little bit of a hairy moment, got a bit crossed up, but yeah, that was about it really.
And the other thing as well, going into this, obviously, you know, you had a great start to the series, dropped back. I think we may have called the points earlier on that you dropped right back and then came back after a fantastic previous round at Zolder, and that mathematically clearly put yourself into second position. But is there a mathematical chance that you're closer to Webley than we think, or is it concluded?
Nah, I don't think so. I think Webley's got it. I've yeah, started really well this season. Did a bit of rubbish in the middle and then finished well, but I got a little bit hard done by last week at Zolder, my second race where I had to forfeit and go back to pits. The game bugged out and told me I had no
That's right.
fuel.
That's right. Yeah, sorry, I do remember that now. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but other than that, mate, a well-constructed series to be in the hunt, and then tonight you couldn't do any more than what you did. You know, putting it on pole and then really checking out. You left nothing up to chance as far as, you know, Webley needed to do the business from the back of the field, and just wanted to, yeah, just see your reaction when that happened, to what your thought pattern was, to how that might have played out with Webley starting from P16. Your eyes must have lit up there for a bit.
Oh, I did, but I was looking forward to a good battle at the end there. So I wanted him to quali well and be up the front, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, and such a hard place to quali too. You know, we saw you bank that 855 pretty early, and then I sort of back end, I think you betted it by about another 6/10, mate. So you pressed on for another one, which was I think the writing was on the wall for the boys that, you know, you had more in the tank, and yeah, it was a fantastic lap, or fantastic couple of laps actually, because clearly the first one was well and truly enough to do the business, and I think we only had around 5 drivers that actually banked classified laps. So shows how hard the circuit is to actually do it inside the confines of what's deemed the racetrack. So a fantastic job right from the start, mate, and backed it up. Good way to finish the series too, Costas. Just absolutely maxed it out, and looking forward to seeing more of Costas in the future. Well done.
Yeah, can't wait. Thanks, fellas. Can't wait to watch it back. Thanks for the season.
Awesome, mate. Well done, Costas Merkmelos. There takes the final race of the series at the Nordschleife. Boys, what a night. And yeah, bloody good call having James in the box too, Davo. It was yeah, a little pleasant little surprise there, and nice
We
to
took
work
him
with somebody else
hostage.
in the box.
We took
yeah,
him hostage.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, willing hostage here, willing hostage. So yeah, no, it was great. Yeah, thank you for having me, lads. It was it's actually been a lot of fun, and managed to kill the time. So yeah, no, it was good.
Awesome.
Awesome stuff. Well, thanks for that, James. We'll leave it there. I think we'll let Davo wrap the show up. And,
We will. Thank you.
And we'll be in touch anyway, James, because that was a good call. Thanks, mate.
No worries at all, guys. Have a good night.
Checks in the mail. Nice work there from James Foster. But yeah, look, that is a wrap here tonight for Rainlight Racing's 2025 GT4 series. First series cab off the rank here for 2025. Got plenty going on again this year. They got SIMBLACKS back on board, obviously. True to Life Racing Designs always there, and Crossy 43 putting all this stuff together. So get involved with these guys. They've always given away some awesome stuff. MATCHFIT Entertainment, again, happily, yeah, streaming all this stuff to you live on the YouTubes. Hit the like and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, join us again next time we are back for Rainlight Racing's events. Bye for now.